Jasper, Atakefa, and in this video, I'll be discussing Maslow's theories of motivation. And so we're going to start with the man himself. This theory was made by Abraham Manslow in 1908. He was born in 1908, April 1, and he died in June 8, 1970, while jogging. He had a heart attack. He was an American psychologist, and he was best known for creating the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a theory of psychological health predicated on fulfilling innate human needs in priority, which actually culminates in self-actualization. And so he stressed the importance of focusing on the positive qualities in people, as opposed to treating them as a bag of symptoms. And so we will be going to the next slide. So Manslow made his assumptions based on the fact that human nature is basically good, as I said earlier, and not evil. He also believed that normal human development involves the actualization of this inherent goodness that can be found in every man. And so the culmination of his theory is that everybody is trying to achieve a state of self actualization. And so Maslow's assumptions are that psychopathology results from frustration of human beings' essential nature. So most times it's not because we want to do something, but it's just we are frustrated, and that's where the negatives of human behavior comes from. And so this is the five hierarchies. From the bottom is the psychological need, the safety need, the love need, the esteem need, and the goal, which is self-actualization. And we can actually represent this in a pyramid diagram. And so every human needs to have a need to get to the point of self-actualization, but it actually starts from the bottom, the psychological or survival need. Now, this need has to do with survival physically and psychologically. These are our basic needs to survive, like food, water, warmth. For example, you are hungry. What do? Well, you try to look for food to fulfill that desire or that need. It's not really a desire because it's more of a life and death issue. You think about a situation where you're swimming in the pool and you are probably under the water, out of air. What do? Well, because you need air, you rush up to come to the top and get some air for yourself. So basically, that's a physiological or survival need that each and every one of us has. And then when you are able to satisfy this need, your next need becomes the safety need. Manslow says, on the whole, an individual cannot satisfy any level unless the needs below are satisfied. So for your safety needs, for you to satisfy your safety needs, you need to have been able to satisfy your physiological or survival need. And once the first need is met, everybody, once you meet your psychological or survival needs, you're able to feed, you're able to have warmth, air, food, and water. You want to experience safety, to know that you're not in any physical danger. An example of this will be taking your car to a shop to get it fixed. When you know that, for example, you feel that your brakes are not working properly, you go and check it out. Maybe a better example would be staying in a job that one does not really love, but you stay in that job because you have a need to meet. Well, you have bills to pay, you have children to take care of, and so because you want to satisfy this need, you stay in that job. And so when you're able to satisfy your safety need, the next need is the love, affection, and belongingness need. Now, what is this? Well, this is the need to feel love, and sometimes it could even be sexual or intimate need. Basically, the need to be social and have an interaction with other people. Now, when this need is not being met, what do you get? Well, that's when people start to feel isolated, lonely, depressed. And so, after uh, filling your psychological need, your safety need, this is the next need that people try to meet. And after this need is met, when you're able to feel love and affection, what's the next one? Well, it's the esteem needs. Uh, we must have heard of people fishing for compliments. Well, they are trying to feel their esteem needs. An important distinction when it comes to fulfilling the esteem needs are it's more like two sides to a coin. Well, you have your reputation or what others think about you, and the other part is your self-respect or what you think about yourself. And so, how do people fulfill their esteem needs? Well, one of this is by maybe driving a fancy car so that people can say nice things about you, or in some cases, people who do some plastic surgery on their body to enhance their physical looks, just so that they can um, affect the way others see them. But we always have to remember that in these two sides of the coin, there's really not so much you can do to affect how others see you. But then it's 100% within our power to view the self-respect, pretty much how we view ourselves. And so when we do all these things that make us feel well, we are fulfilling our esteem needs. And after this need is uh, met, well, we go for the final one, which is the need for self-actualization. So Manslow emphasized that this need is actually the goal of a healthy individual. It's the healthy individual's prime motivation. Now, what does this mean? It actually do mean that one has become all that he or she is capable of becoming. This is the goal that everybody wants to achieve. And so this is the goal again from the beginning. We start with our physiological or survival needs. We move to our safety needs. When we meet that, we go to love and affection, belongingness, esteem, and the goal, self-actualization. Now, we always have to remember that even though that's the goal, nobody can do everything, but we can nearly all do more than we think we can. And that is why there is a need for motivation. When we are motivated, we do more. Now, there are some other needs which were described as meta needs. We have truth, goodness, beauty, wholeness, dichotomy, and transcendence, aliveness, uniqueness, perfection, necessity, completion, justice, order, simplicity, richness, effortlessness, playfulness, and self-sufficiency. These are still part of the needs, but not the major needs. And so Maslow's definition of a self-actualized person is someone who has no mental illness. He has satisfied all his basic needs, as we see, the survival, the safety needs, the esteem needs, the love needs. He has satisfied all of this and is motivated by values. Such a person also has fully exploited all their talents. Now, this is some of the characteristics of a self-actualizing person. So one who can say they have met that need, the goal, well, that's a person who has a superior perception of reality, an increased acceptance of himself, of others, and of nature. And that person is also displays an increased sense of spontaneity. They are able to switch things around, in an instant. They also feel an increased detachment and desire for privacy. They have great freshness of appreciation and richness of emotional reaction. Well, this is a short scale to measure somebody who uh, has actually reached a state of self-actualization. Doesn't feel ashamed, does not feel that they must do what everybody expects of them. They feel that people are essentially good and can be trusted. They don't feel angry to those that they love, and they don't think it's always necessary that others approve of what they do. They don't accept their own weaknesses, and you can't like people without having to approve them. And so this is the end of my video.